Hello, and here is the news on NT International. I'm Lami Ali. The sign language interpreter is Courage Ogiriahi. First, the headlines. Federal government confronts rising costs of fertilizers to ensure accessibility for smallholder farmers. President Bola Tinubu congratulates National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control (NAFDAC) on retaining WHO status. Also on the news, 45 Malian soldiers, including 2 generals, in custody over alleged coup plots. President Bola Tinubu congratulates the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control (NAFDAC) on retaining the World Health Organization's Maturity Level 3 status for the regulation of medicines and vaccines. The Global Health Regulatory Body conducted a re-benchmarking exercise from May 28 to May 30, 2025, assessing NAFDAC against globally recognized standards for regulatory performance. NAFDAC attained ML3 status in 2022, becoming Africa's first national regulatory authority to achieve this milestone in regulating medicines and vaccines non-producing. In consonance with the WHO policy, periodic reviews are conducted to ensure sustained compliance. President Tinubu reaffirms his administration's unwavering commitments to enhancing Nigeria's capacity to ensure the safety, quality and efficacy of medicines and vaccines in line with international best practice. Now, the federal government is engaging the European Union in a roundtable dialogue to strengthen coordination in the cocoa value chain to explore Nigeria's potential in changing the shape of global agri-supply chains. Vice President Kashim Shettima, represented at a meeting with the foreign partners, restated federal government's commitment to strengthen Nigeria's resilience to climate change impact for sustainable agricultural productivity and prosperity. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jibrila reports.
The EUDR requirement on the
strengthening cocoa value chain for European Union deforestation regulations compliance in Nigeria EU dialogue mechanism.
How do we get the nexus right? We are opportune for our leaders to have set up National Space Research and Development Agency.
This meeting with these stakeholders is aimed at establishing a foundation for sustainable dialogue and collaboration among cocoa sector stakeholders, contributing to Nigeria's broader agricultural transformation and economic diversification strategies of the Renewed Hope Initiative.
Foreign exchange earners, job creation, all the things that will make sure that we hit our $1 trillion economy mark, the priority that we've given to food sovereignty and to making sure that we accelerate diversification of our non-oil exports under item number 7 out of the Renewed Hope agenda.
We are poised to lead in sustainable cocoa production and agribusiness. Let's forge a new era of strategic partnership where Nigeria cocoa becomes a global symbol of sustainability, becomes a global symbol of strict compliance to the EUDR regulation, while also uplifting the hundreds of thousands of smallholder farmers from where they are, giving them a quantum leap in their socio-economic status, in their income earning by at least more than 50% as a result of government involvement in meeting up this dual purpose. To me, I call it dual purpose regulation, compliance, and also enhancing the productivity of our farmers.
And recently Nigeria has come back with many cups. And why not also one coming from repositioning Nigeria as a global competitor in the cocoa sector. Now, this conversation is about also building an ecosystem around the cocoa sector.
A brief presentation of the European Union study on sustainable cocoa traceability and regulations in Nigeria, the Nigerian preparedness on the European Union deforestation regulations. From the State House, Abraham Jibrila, NTA News.
If smallholder farmers at the bedrock of Nigeria's agricultural sector can no longer afford fertilizer, food security then hangs in the balance. To prevent such a situation, the federal government redefines the future of the Presidential Fertilizer Initiative to ensure quality control, affordability and accessibility to fertilizer. Neka Uku tells us how.
The rising cost of fertilizers is not just a challenge for farmers. It is a national issue that affects food prices and economic stability. This is why key stakeholders in the fertilizer ecosystem are in dialogue to confront the present challenge. With the Minister of Finance Incorporated, Murphy, leading the charge in collaboration with the Nigeria Sovereign Investment Authority, the mission is to review progress of the Presidential Fertilizer Initiative, identify challenges in the industry, and propose solutions to address them.
Our position is, one, ensuring that we take all steps to bring down the price of fertilizer through economies of scale, through domesticating the production of the inputs, and steps are already being taken to ensure that we achieve that. But the other aspect of it is to also ensure that we do not allow adulterated materials, fertilizer materials, to come into the ecosystem.
Of course, there continues to be challenges, but what I'm proud to say is when I reflect from 2016 to today, those challenges have substantially been confronted together as an industry.
Since inception in 2016, the Presidential Fertilizer Initiative is said to have revived over 80 blending plants and delivered more than 90 million bags of affordable fertilizer. For farmers, the expectation is that the solutions proposed at this roundtable will not only yield tangible results, but meet timely implementation for the next planting season. In Abuja, Neka Uku, NT News.
The Federation of Agricultural Commodity Associations of Nigeria is facilitating a bill for the establishment of Nigerian content's non-oil sector developments. Calvin Iwunwai reports that a presentation of the bill was made to members at its meeting in Abuja to enable them make inputs. The president of the association, Sheriff Balogun, said that a template for the standardized constitution for all commodity associations was necessary to reposition them to contribute collectively to the food security agenda of the federal government and take full advantage of all available interventions to boost commodity production for local supply and exports.
From the bill that is coming, hopefully this bill will be passed very soon, and FACAN is going to play a central role in that local content commission, as the case may be, because in the structure of the commission, the initial proposal was for FACAN to chair the agri content commission. However, there's been a bit of changes, but we will not relent.
In other news, the Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Keyamo, has addressed the recent incident involving an unruly passenger on an Ibom air flight. Through his special assistant on media, Tunde Moshood, the minister confirmed that Comfort Emerson has been charged to court and is currently detained at the Kirikiri Correctional Facility in Lagos. According to Tunde Moshood's post on X, the minister described Emerson's detention as a necessary measure to ensure aviation safety and security. This action follows the emergence of a video online showing a heated confrontation between Emerson and a cabin crew member on an Ibom air flight from Uyo to Lagos on Sunday, August 10th. Meanwhile, the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority appeals to passengers to remain calm and cooperative during flights and to respect the instructions of cabin crew members and all other aviation rules for the safety and well-being of all passengers on board. At least 45 Malian soldiers, including 2 generals, were arrested over the weekend for attempts to destabilize institutions in the Sahel country. Here is Kulo Mohammed with the details.
Among those arrested was John Abbas Dembele, a former governor of the Central Mopti region who is popular within army ranks. The coup is coming after 8 years of relative political stability in Mali. The August 2020 coup in the country was carried out by a group of Malian soldiers who stormed Bamako and detained the then president, Abubakar Keïta. The coup d'etat followed weeks of protests against Keïta, who was accused of failing to combat violent groups who were waging an armed rebellion in the north of the country. The new military junta promised to deal with the problem swiftly. However, internal divisions within the new government led to a second coup in May 2021, resulting in the accession of Colonel Assimi Goïta to the presidency of Mali, a role he has occupied since then. In the face of the attack, the junta has intensified crackdowns on political agitators. In May, President Goïta dissolved all political parties and organizations in Mali, which sparked widespread protests. Analysts say where peace eludes the citizens, the government at the center will not enjoy stability. Kolom Mohammed, NTA News.
The multinational joint task force operating in the Lake Chad area is devising ways to neutralize militants who have turned Lake Chad's islands into training grounds for recruits and storage sites for items they consider valuable. And Australian Prime Minister says his country will recognize a Palestinian state at the UN General Assembly in September. Here again is Kolom Mohammed with the details.
Boko Haram terrorists have sown terror among the people living around the Lake Chad area for over 15 years. Surrounded by Cameroon, Chad, Nigeria, and Nigeria, it isolates them from the rest of the world, thereby making it difficult for the military to reach them. Major General Ibrahim Salau Ali, Commander-in-Chief of the Multinational Joint Task Force, said the time for dropping arms and giving up terrorism is now, as the army is close to bringing them and their activities to a halt. Governments of countries around Lake Chad have gotten a clear leadway to end terrorism around the area and other parts of Africa. Reports say terrorists held sway at considerable tracts of land at Lake Chad. The Multinational Joint Task Force says these have been retrieved from their control and normalcy has returned as civilians are returning home. Meanwhile, Australian Prime Minister Albanese says his country has received commitments from Palestinian Authority to demilitarize, hold general elections, and also continue to recognize Israel's right to exist. He said a two-state solution is humanity's best hope to break the cycle of violence in the Middle East and to bring an end to the conflict, suffering, and starvation in Gaza. Israel, under increasing pressure to end the war in Gaza, has said recognizing the Palestinian state rewards terrorism. In other news, European allies have rallied behind Ukraine in a renewed surge of support, insisting that any peace talks with Russia must include Kyiv. A joint statement issued by leaders of the UK, France, Italy, Germany, and Poland, and the European Commission came ahead of US President Donald Trump's meeting with his Russian counterpart, Vladimir Putin, in Alaska. A White House official said President Trump is willing to hold a trilateral meeting which will include Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky, but for now it remains Trump-Putin summit, as initially requested by the Russian leader. Zelensky has said any agreement without Kyiv will amount to dead decisions, while President Putin has asked for a demilitarization of Ukraine. This, NATO chief says, is not under Putin's purview to decide. Kolom Mohammed, NTA News.
The third public hearing of the Independent Investigative Panel on alleged corruption, abuse of power, torture, cruel, inhumane and degrading treatments against the Nigerian Correctional Service has opened in Abuja. Victor Azu has the details.
It's round 3 for the panel probing allegations of misconduct in the Nigerian Correctional Service, a process aimed at accountability and change. Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Interior, and panel chairman, Dr. Magdalena Jani, says the mission is to reform the service and rebuild public trust.
Our objective is not to tarnish the reputation of the service, but rather to strengthen it by ensuring that the actions of a few do not undermine the integrity of the whole institution.
Panel Secretary Dr. Ojuagomo notes that beyond the broad investigation under its terms of reference, there are high-profile cases on the table, including the one involving Bobrisky.
Mr. Idris Okuneye, widely known as Bobrisky, and to find out whether he truly served his sentence in the designated custodial center. B, to ascertain the veracity of the claim that an inmate in Kuje Custodial Center was intimidated, threatened, and defrauded by the officer in charge.
Set up by the Minister of Interior after public outcry, the panel is being watched closely, seen by many as a test of the system's will to clean up its own house. In Abuja, Victor Azu, NTA News.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're watching the news on NTA International. It's time to take a break. More stories when we return. Please. You're welcome back. President Bola Tinubu has appointed Rinsola Abiola as Director General of the Citizenship and Leadership Training Center. Abiola, an expert in strategic communication and government relations, previously served as Senior Special Assistant to the President. In addition, President Tinubu has equally appointed Nasir Bala Aminu Jaoji as Senior Special Assistant on Citizenship and Leadership. Jaoji, who had served as Special Advisor on Mobilization to the Governor of Kano State and a member of the Governing Council of Coordinated Arewa Youth Groups, is an advocate of women and youth empowerment and development. Thousands of commuters are still taking advantage of the Abuja Metro train services free ride. Correspondent Kama Kama brings us the latest on this transportation initiative that has been making waves in the nation's capital.
I'm here at the Abuja Metro station where the free train ride has attracted a large number of commuters. Rail Mass Transit, launched by President Bola Tinubu, has been operating free of charge for a year and 6 months, providing relief to residents and visitors in the Federal Capital Territory. As you can see, the train are packed with commuters, all eager to take advantage of the free ride. The Abuja Light Rail project, designed to reduce traffic congestion and enhance accessibility, has been a game changer for the city's residents.
It's been a very, very, very good thing, because before I used to drive to the airport, it used to cost me a lot. But now I park my car here and go to work in the airport and come back. So it's very, very convenient and easy for me.
It's a very nice one. You can see me with my kids, just for fun ride. We followed it from the airport to this place. It was fun.
Almost going to a year now, and it's been great. I like the experience. But if I would say the only thing I would like to be improved is let them add more trains. Like right now, it's only one we're using, so it's really full. And I don't know why up till now we haven't still started paying for it, because they said it was supposed to last only like 3 months, 6 months. But now it's going to like a year, and we still haven't paid. So I don't know why. So, and that's why you see we're having crowds like this all in one single train, so it can be very uncomfortable. But that aside, if there are more trains added to it, it will be very great, honestly.
I took the train from Idri railway station, and then it had like, I think 3 to 4 stops before it got here. And then one thing I love about the train is that it keeps to time, so you have to be there on time. If not, the train leaves once the time has reached.
It's very convenient because I'm able to go to school.
Talking about this train, oh my God, it has been of help for the masses, most especially for the less people. Let them just say less people. Low income earners. You understand? So because before, for me to get from my area to my office there, I spend nothing less than 3,500 every day. But right now, I spend 400 naira to my office here. So can you now imagine how much I've been saving?
The Abuja Mass Transit has a capacity to accommodate 700 to 800 passengers per train, with 12 diesel multiple units operating daily. The free ride, which was initiated, set to have 2 months extended to December by President Tinubu. Kama, NTA News.
Use your newly acquired skills to create jobs, uplift your community, and make a lasting impact. That was the charge from Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu to over 5,000 graduates at the graduation and empowerment ceremony held for beneficiaries of the state's skills acquisition program. John Ken Agbapoya reports that the initiative is driven by the Lagos State Ministry of Women Affairs and Poverty Alleviation.
After weeks of intensive training across various trades, these more than 5,000 graduates of the Lagos State Skills Acquisition Program are now fully equipped to take on the world of entrepreneurship.
Since the inception of this administration, we have proudly produced over 34,000 graduates from our skills acquisition centers.
From vulcanizing to welding, catering to hairdressing, and photography to makeup artistry, these beneficiaries represent a new wave of job creators ready to drive grassroots economic growth.
Initially, my children just said I should go there to go and, just keep myself busy or something. But when I got there, I met a lot of opportunities there.
Because I'm so very happy for today. Because I can't expect this from just in front. I don't know what I'm going to talk to. I'm so very happy for our government.
Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, who presented the empowerment tools, said the training centers have become lifelines, offering real opportunities for economic independence and self-reliance.
Now you are going out to ensure that for you to compete and compete well, you must be able to design or you're able to bake something that you can sell. And so your pricing must make sense. It will not be that your first thing that you sell, you want to make all the profit from it.
Wife of the governor, Dr. Abuja Sanwo-Olu, described the graduates as symbols of determination, urging them to embrace continuous learning and uphold integrity in their enterprises.
As you take this bold step forward, remember that learning never stops. Continue to sharpen your skills, embrace new ideas, remain open to opportunities.
With this milestone, the Lagos State government reaffirms its commitment to equipping citizens with practical skills that promote self-reliance and sustainable livelihoods. In Lagos, Joy Ken Abapuya, NTA News.
We pause now to bring you a message. More stories later.
Its former glory and elevate its status on the global stage. First, the inefficient road network will be replaced with 2 independent ring roads, the outer ring for departures and the inner ring for arrivals. Second, the existing structure of Terminal 1 will be strengthened to improve its integrity. A connection building will link the 2 terminals, and the skywalk will connect the car park to Terminal 2, ensuring seamless passenger movement within these facilities. Meanwhile, this half-century-old Terminal 1 will undergo comprehensive modernization, featuring an enhanced eagle-inspired architectural design that symbolizes a soaring and hopeful Nigeria. The upgrades will include both interior and exterior enhancements, improved passenger facilities, and advanced mechanical, electrical, and plumbing systems to enhance operations and capacity. Terminal 2 will also undergo upgrades, including refurbished platforms, enhanced canopies, expanded boarding fingers, and an enlarged apron for greater efficiency. Once completed, passengers at MMIA will enjoy a significantly enhanced travel experience. The redesigned infrastructure will provide well-organized and direct access to the terminal buildings, improving efficiency. Optimized internal circulation will ensure uninterrupted movement for arriving and departing passengers. Additionally, modernized facilities, upgraded amenities, and an aesthetically immersive environment will create a more comfortable, seamless, and enjoyable journey for all travelers. Under the Renewed Hope Initiative, we're leveraging global expertise in airport engineering and cutting-edge digital systems to transform MMIA into a safer, smarter, greener and more efficient aviation hub. Finally, the nation will be filled with hope, paving the way for a brighter future.
Vice President Kashim Shettima has expressed deep sorrow over the passing of the former Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Chief Audu Gbe, saying Nigeria has lost one of its most visionary leaders. In a statement by the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Communications, Office of the Vice President, Stanley Kucha, described Chief Ugbe's death as an irreparable loss to Nigeria's agricultural transformation drive and national development trajectory. The Vice President led President Bola Tinubu's delegation on a condolence visit to the family of the late former Minister of Agriculture, noting that the late Ugbe's contributions to food security and rural development will forever remain etched in the country's development history. Prayers were offered for the repose of the deceased soul. Tuesday's weather prospect is next. Well, we've come to the end of the news. We thank you for watching. Courage Ogiria, he has been the sign language interpreter, and I remain Lani Ali. Do have a good evening.